Sent. Okay. Okay, can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So we'll be starting the 50th lecture. So let me put this on slideshow. So the format would be 1 hour today. I have a hard stop at 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, I have to go to another class. So we'll try to have about 15-20 minutes question answers. Some of them, the first few minutes would be just a review of the last two classes quickly. So we said Satya is truth, and it's the cause of everything, and it is Brahman. Then this is a summary of the last two classes. I'll quickly go through it. Dharma is Brahman, and we talked about Satyam of Chandogya Upanishad. That is the balance of the immortal and mortal. So this life consists of both immortality and mortality, Amrita and Mrityu. We have to balance this together. The person who knows both can experience Brahman every day. Dharma is the bridge to get to Satya, or the cause of this universe. So it is the sadhana, the path, but the bridge is broken now. Dharma is also the true nature of Jivatma and everything. So its nature of things is Dharma. We spend more time on the Artha and Kama. That's because of Ajnana. So the health is, a healthy Jiva should be able to be in the 4 states, that is Sushupti, Swapna, Jagrat, and Turiya. All the 4 states should be visible every day for a normal, healthy person. Because we lost our true nature of Jivatma, we only can be in 3 states. Then coming back to the 4th state is the Samadhi Sthiti. Dharma is also effects of this universe. That is, cause became the effect after creation. And the effects also has dharmas. And dharma is how everything is held together. So it holds the universe together, makes things work the way things work. We already talked about this. Dharma requires, to restore dharma, it requires effort. We talked about it. So only by effort we can have spiritual progress. Dharma also has Jnana, because Jnana is the very nature of the cause, Satya, and it's also the nature of Jiva. And the Jnana has different branches. Our true Dharma is lost, so we are not hungry to understand who we are. So we are frogs in a well, in the sense that we are happy in our own sensual world. We don't know what is beyond the sensual world. We are addicted to the sensual world. So Dharma gets you out of the sensual world to the spiritual world. So there are different features of Ananda we talked about. So Dharma takes us from Bhuhu to Bhuvaha to Suvaha, which is Adhibhuta, Adhideva, and Adhyatma. We talked about it in detail in the last few classes. So Dharma enables from one state to the other, from the Bhuhu to Bhuvaha to Suvaha, or Adhibhuta, Adhideva, and Adhyatma. So Paramadharma is what? Yad Yogena Atma Darshanam, as said by Yoga Yajnavalkya. And Archiradi Marga is the Kundalini Marga, which is also known as the Gayatri, where a yogi realizes Nada, Jyoti, and all the lokas within this body and also beyond. Dhyana is obtained by meditation, not by just books. So by pure meditation, tapas, one can achieve jnana. Just a second. So the way of transmission of jnana to others using mauna, silent transmission, like how Dakshinamurti did using mauna vyakhyana, that type of power is lost in people now. It may be hidden somewhere. A few jnanis can be there somewhere, and they are probably able to do it. All sorts of Shabda Upadesha are by learning by text, listening and all. They are all low quality Upadeshas. They are not very powerful Upadeshas. And now we start this class. I wanted to give an idea of what Dharma is. Dharma is a natural state of everything around us. Fire burns. That is the Dharma of fire. Ocean cools. That is the Dharma of ocean or water. Grana Dharma is to sense smell. Twak Dharma is to understand touch sensation. Mano Dharma is to think constantly or to shift focus. So Manas has different capabilities, different functions. Garva, Smarana, remembrance, many other things mind can do. That is the nature of mind. So to get back to natural state is also Dharma. So Dharma maintains all these natural states of different things around us. So if you look at Dharma from a universal perspective, Dharma is of a seed, like how a seed grows into a tree. So the seed has the Bija Dharma, and it grows into leaves, stalk, branches, flowers, fruits, seeds, all these. So from the Bija Dharma, it grows into the Dharma of tree. So the nature of Bija is to become a tree. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita 7.10, Lord Krishna says, Bijam mam sarvabhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam. That means I am the material cause of this universe. So I become this universe. Because Dharma has so many meanings, a true translation of Dharma into English or any other language is not possible. Dharana Dharma Uchyate means that maintains the universe. Dharana means supports the universe. If somebody says, I don't want any Dharma, even to say that, one needs speech. So speech should be functioning properly. It has to have this, the normal Dharma of speech. Somebody has to have the mouth, tongue, and everything like that. You won't say, I don't want Dharma. So Dharma is fundamental to this universe. So vocal cord should have its Dharma, things like that. So the essential nature and proper working condition of everything is Dharma. Dharma is not just for India. We should understand that anything in the universe is maintained by Dharma. Whether here or it could be Israel or USA or any other China or any other country, Dharma exists everywhere. So this is the Creator's plan for this universe. And Dharma, look how Dharma keeps us back. most of the disease, 90% of the diseases will go away by themselves without medicines, and some with medicines. Even the work of the medicines and naturally how we get back our health is also dharma. So we talked about this earlier. I'm just going to mention quickly. See, if we have our average life expectancy is about 75 years. We are stuck with our senses, limbs, the color of the skin, the body. We're stuck with this body. We're locked with our minds. We can't change our minds. And we constantly, invariably experience sensations, feeling continuously without fail, except while sleeping. Aging, growth, deterioration, disease, good health, all occur naturally by its own accord. And also we cause some of them by eating the wrong things or not exercising or whatever. So everything works according to some dharma. Many things are given to us, but we are also stuck in this composite, which has all these things around us. There's no way out for the about 75 years average for anybody, right? So this is our model of life, no matter where you live, whether you live here or in some other country. This is the model of our life. So around us also, our environment, we see that dharma is there. The fire keeps on burning. The nature of snakes is to bite. And sense objects will constantly attract you. Weather changes, economy changes, many things happen around us. This is all due to dharma. So we talked about this in this quiz, why dharma is the first of the Purusharthas, probably earlier. Without dharma, Artha Kama cannot exist. Why? We talked about this. Because dharma is what is creating hunger in you, digestion, thirst, need for money, requirement for wealth and desires. So any effort you have to do to get all these things is because all these things in your body are working properly according to dharma, guided by dharma. Enjoyment is also nature. Lord Krishna says, kama or desire is not bad as long as it is dharmic. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapa. See, some people, this is where there are pessimistic philosophies and optimistic philosophies. So in philosophers, they have different viewpoints. Some people say, oh, world is all fleeting, momentary, temporary. I should not enjoy anything in this world. This is wrong philosophy. Some people think like that. But because obvious questions pop up and say, look, why did this universe, Ishvara create such an universe with sense organs, sense enjoyment, both physical and mental? What is the purpose of creation? Is it to dissuade most of the people saying that this is wrong to do, wrong to enjoy anything? So is God a cruel person who is dissuading every creature on earth? So this doesn't make sense. So Vedic philosophy does not support monkhood and total Vairagya. It says, have contentment. Let the eye see, but don't cause harm to your eyes. Keep your balance. Too much Vairagya is not required. Obviously, some Vairagya is required. You have to control your desires, but be within Dharma. As long as you stay within the rules of Dharma, within the bounds of Dharma, your enjoyment is okay. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapa. So Lord Krishna is not supporting dry Vairagya. Some textbooks and some people have come up with that. Not all people are ready for sannyasa. So pushing somebody to always take up the orange ochre robes and then get out of life and become a sannyasi is not the right thing. Only people who are really created for such purpose. Maybe there is one Shankaracharya, one Ramanujacharya, one Madhvacharya here, or some person, they may be ready for that. That's a different question. Regarding sense and sense control, in Ramayana, Mandodari addresses this to Ravana at the time Ravana gets killed. She says, Indriyani purajitva jitam tribhuvanam tvaya. That means, oh Ravana, you are one of the best people who could control your senses. You did tapas for so many years. You did tapas. While doing tapas, you controlled your senses. Indriyani pura jitva, you controlled you totally won over your senses. Jitam tribhuvanam tvaya, you won over the entire three worlds, three lokas. When Chaturmukha Brahma found you, when your whole body was eaten by ants and things like that, there was a huge ant hill around your body, he was surprised. How could anybody do this much tapas? That was the level of tapas you had. Smarad bhiriva tadvairam indriyaireva nirjitaha. As if your senses or indriyas wanted to take revenge on you. You were won over by your own indriyas because it could not give up the attachment to a lady who belonged to Rama. So you were killed by your own misfunctioning or non-functioning indriyas. Because you starved your indriyas for so long, for so many years, the indriyas, oh my God, I want something. They became hungry and you could not control your indriyas. So why is this verse very important? Control of indriyas is not important. Keeping your desires in control is important. Going after somebody else's property or wife or whatever is wrong. So starving your senses is not the design of body. Body is not designed for that. Buddhist and Advaitic teachers have supported this monkhood as a way of life. But if you compare our Vaidika philosophy, if you take any particular rishi, for example, you take Atri, Bhrigu, Vasishta, any type of rishi, most rishis, even Yajnavalkya, who was one of the greatest rishis known to people. Yoga Yajnavalkya was married. He had two wives, by the way. So Vaidika philosophy is slightly different. Ati sarvatra varjayet is the principle. Do not do too much in anything. If you keep everything under control, you're okay. We talked about this. The thing is, when it comes to greed, lobha, moha, that is greed, anger, delusion, all this causes problems in life. That tells you to get out of dharma and then go after something which is not dharmic. For example, I was reading in a newspaper today that 40 million people around the world are trafficked. Basically, children are taken and sold away for different purposes. Why is it adharma? You're harming the natural condition of that child. The child also wants a family, wants education and things like that. You're taking that away. When I mean you, somebody who is doing that, right? So that is adharma because you're not letting that person have their own freedom. So how should you acquire wealth and pleasure? That is artha and kama. How should you acquire? Do not destroy dharma while acquiring wealth and pleasure. That's a simple rule. Normal condition means make sure your senses work properly. Don't work too hard. Don't hurt any of your body parts, not your mind, senses, Ahankara, Indriyas, everything should work normally. So you should take care of all these parts while acquiring wealth and Artha and Kama. Eating too much and other things are obviously wrong because you're going to hurt your own body. And if you work too much, you will not have enough time to even experience what you earn. And you will also forget realization of self and higher goals of life. So if you don't keep any space for Dharma and Moksha, that is Dharma taken as charity, Dharma taken as higher goals, and Moksha taken as the highest goal, if you don't give any value, priority to that, then you're going against the Dharma of the soul, Dharma of Jivatma. So one should satisfy all the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That's very important. So what is Dharma? Be careful. If you watch too many movies, that will hurt your eyes, and also Atma Dhyana, because, well, you can get attracted to material things constantly. You won't be able to focus on the self within and the super self within. Similarly, drinking can cloud judgment. It will hurt the normal condition of the mind. So that is Adharma. Greed takes away peace. If somebody is not peaceful, they cannot meditate. If they cannot meditate, they cannot realize the superior nature of Atma present in us. We talked about this. I just wanted to remind you, Rishis does not go to libraries to find knowledge. They found knowledge within by doing tapas. And they transmitted it to the next generations. And later on, it was written down as Vedas and Dhyana. This transmission was lost. Prayoga Vijnana, that means how to transmit knowledge from within to others. That Prayoga Vijnana, the methodology is lost. Only few people know about it. So the true Dhyana comes from within, not from reading books. The books are secondary sources of knowledge. We need to understand that. And this was shown by Bhishma while he imparted knowledge to the Pandavas about Dharma, while struck with hundreds of arrows in the battlefield, because he had that divine knowledge within him, and that was enabled by Lord Krishna's presence. And that's why he was able to teach all the knowledge of Dharma to these people. This is an interesting exercise. Think about this. How can information be lost? For example, somebody wants to show somebody how a letter A is written. A is the letter. Assume there is an opaque screen that this person cannot see what you wrote, but there's just a board without an ink. You make a stroke like A, like this. And then this person cannot see the real written letter. He only sees your strokes. And looking at the strokes, oh, this is what you wrote. Remembering that, you ask that person to teach the same thing to somebody using the same method. Like that, let that person teach somebody else. So what happens is, he may not understand exactly your strokes while you're doing the strokes without marking anything. Similarly, the next person may not understand what it is. Eventually, what happens is, the 100% would write the letter in a totally different way, what was not meant. So there was errors in transmission. Why are we giving this example? Because Dharma concepts, Jivatma concepts are very complex. Jivatma is hidden, Atma is hidden, Paramatma is hidden, right? It's not visible to the external senses. So to give a concept to another person, it's going to be hard. So with difficulty, they have to transmit that information. While transmitting in this method of word, speech, and things like that. So transmission to the next generation, to the next, to the next. eventually Atma Jnana will be lost. So that is why there was loss of this spiritual jnana from generation to generation to generation. This is unfortunate. The nature of such jnana is difficult. So there are different sources of knowledge in our system of thought. What we have said is the Vedas, the Upanishads, Nyaya, Puranas, Dharma Shastras, Samhita, and in the Vedas you have this Aranyaka, Upanishad, Brahmana, Samhita portion, and the supporting all the Shastras are Shiksha, Chandas, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Kalpa, Jyotisha. All these are the 14 sources of knowledge, and Dharma also. They are sources of Dharma also. That is why I mentioned we are talking about Dharma. So Dharma also refers to the Jnana, and the sources of Jnana can be referred to as Dharma. So why do we need this sources of knowledge? This is to avoid Atmahani. Atmahani means destruction of our spiritual self, destruction of ourselves, destruction of our true nature, that is the true Dharma of our Jivatma, and to restore our Jivatma to its original position. So we have lost the real true nature. We need to restore. We need all this knowledge for it. There are Shastras which says do's and don'ts. When you need to Tasmat Shastam Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavastithau. This is in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. If you come to a situation where you have a question as whether to do this or not, you have to refer to the Shastras. And some people may ask, why would I want to refer some old book written 2000 years ago or 4000 years ago? I don't know. The answer to that is spiritual knowledge is very difficult. So they're given you a list of rules. If you follow them, you will protect yourself. If you don't follow, you will destroy yourself. As simple as that. Imparting this knowledge is very difficult to people. Even to children, it's very hard to impart. Think about knowledge. Knowledge is within the nature. It's very important. Knowledge is not in the book, it is within the nature. Embryology is a system, a science, right, of embryo and things like that. Where did embryology come into existence? Because someone was born already sometime back, right? So then they figured out what is birth and things like that. Based on what is in nature, embryology came into existence. So all knowledge is hidden in nature for sure. So we need to understand that. Shastra, if it is in the form of book, is secondary information written in some textbooks. So just to come back, the Shastras may give you, don't put dust into your eyes. It's a very simple example. Obviously, if you put dust in your eyes, you will be hurt. Your eyes are hurt. So you need to wash them and take the dust away, right? Similarly, for normal function of Jivatma, suprasensory information is given in Shastras. So if you go against the Shastras, you're going to hurt your spiritual life. You're going to hurt your life in general. Shastras say some rules for those people who have a sacred thread. Say Sandhya Vandana has to be done every day. Aharaha Sandhyam Kurvita. Some rules are there. So you have to do Sandhya Vandana in the morning, midday, and in the evening. Similarly, for a person who wants to do daily prayers to the Lord, there is a method called Bhuta Shuddhi, which is a yogic practice which purifies your different parts of your body, mind, and intellect. There is Anganyasa, Karanyasa methodology. Do this, do that. There is a touch here, touch here. So Anganyasa, Karanyasa has got different methodologies. You may ask, why are we doing all these things? But there is a meaning for everything. There is a spiritual meaning in all these things. If you do Achamana, you sip water 3 times. There is a spiritual meaning that calms your mind before you can do some meditation. So all these rules and regulations are in Dharma Shastras. And Dharma Shastra is to protect our spiritual life. Yes, Lord Krishna says in 16th chapter, 23rd verse, Yes, Shastra vidhim utsajya vartate kamakarataha nasa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. If you go against the Shastras, you will not attain happiness right here also, nor will you get happiness in your next birth. So just going after desires, kama only, is not useful to you. The two kama, going after desires which is allowed by dharma is okay, is within the limits of dharma is okay. If you go beyond the limits of Shastra, there is a problem. So this is what Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, 23rd. Okay, before we go here, are there any doubts? I just want to stop and see. We are going in now quickly. Hope we have, I think we have covered a lot of this in the prior classes. Just wanted to pause a little bit and ask you any questions. You can unmute and ask, I guess. Any questions? Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not talking to nothing here, right? So, okay. No questions, right? If you have questions, stop me, okay? You can even raise your hand or something. You know, there are ways here to let me know.
There are some questions on the chat from Murali, I think.
Where is the chat? Okay, let me see if I can see the chat. I tried to look at it. I have a problem. Why am the chat is not? See, chat. I say chat, and I'm not able to see the chat. Can somebody read it? Hello. Can you read what was written in the chat?
Yeah, this is from Murali. See, questions for later. Purpose of life is to restore original dharma of Jivatma, correct? How
Yes.
does rebirth figure into this? In every birth, who will remind us that that is the purpose of life? How will we be able to restore dharma for our own Jivatma in this birth and in every future rebirth of ours? What if we are born into Muslim dharma in the next birth? Cannot unmute, so put the question on the board.
Okay. Okay. Just let me see. Why am I not able to see? I'm not able to see the chat at all. Oh, here it is. Okay. Question for now I can see. Purpose of life is to restore the original dharma of Jivatma, correct? How does rebirth figure into this? In every birth, who will remind us that that is the purpose of life? How will we be able to restore dharma for our own Jivatma in this birth and in every future rebirth of ours? What if we are born into Muslim dharma in the next birth? Cannot unmute, so put the question on board. Okay, see, fine. It is not very difficult, right? Rebirth, even dying is dharma. Being born again is dharma. We will automatically go to the next life because that Brahman has created this universe where the cycle of deaths and births and deaths is being managed by him. So there is no problem. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati is the verse by Bhagavad Gita in Bhagavad Gita itself. If you are doing anything good here, there is no bad state for you, no durgati for you. You will never go into anything undesirable. He will be born in a good family where that dharma would be given to him, he will be reminded of the Dharma. Not only that, his own samskaras, the memory of the previous lives would be there to guide him in the next birth. So there is no problem. So every birth, every future, what if we are born into Muslim Dharma? Do you mean to say Muslim people will not get any Sadgati? They won't get any good Gati at all? That is a separate Dharma. Based on what you did today or something, it can anything can happen, and based on the what you call whatever dharma that system gives, it will give you a framework to improve. So there is no issue. I don't see any problem here. Okay, I'm not able to. Okay, that's fine. I got it. I understand. No offense to Muslim Dharma. I just use that as an example. Okay, fine. So the thing is, Dharma depends on, so whatever you do now, the effects will come later. So no issue. Okay, great. Now we'll go to the next next part of this. Now it is 8:38. We'll go for 10 more minutes. Unfortunately, what is a slide number here? Slide number, we are still on 17. Let us see how long we can go. Dharma restoration. Think about this. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata means when the dharma wanes, when it becomes reduced. Abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. I will incarnate myself. I will take an avatar and make sure dharma is restored. So the restoration of dharma is done by Lord himself. By the way, his avatar is not only the 10 avatars. Krishna, there is the Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, and all. Only these 10 avatars are not necessary. Asankhyaha avataraha. There are innumerable number of avatars can exist. He can exist in different ways, which we don't even understand whether he is there or not. So this universe is pervaded by Brahman. He can do what he wants to do to restore dharma when he sees that dharma is going down. Just like how a mirror is dusty and the mirror needs to be cleaned, we also have to do our work, our efforts. We need to do something to restore dharma around us. That is why Lord Krishna is known as Dharmasya Prabhurachyutaha. He is the Lord of Dharma. Universal order is maintained. Why are the electrons moving in such certain ways? Why are the protons, nucleus, everything is doing? So many things around us work by themselves. That is because of Dharma. For us, because Dharma is in trouble, we have to work to get it back to the true state. Suppose you deny anybody a particular Purushartha, that means you are doing Adharma. Even for your children, even for anybody around you. If you deny and say you cannot have this particular Purushartha, that means that you are curtailing this freedom of that person. That is why Dharma is universal. It applies to everyone around you. Once a community can give Dharma to a family can give Dharma to everybody. That means it's a Dharmic family. If a community gives that equal opportunity to everybody, then that is a Dharmic community. Like that, it would be a Dharmic country and a Dharmic universe when everybody is given the right freedom to experience, enjoy all the Purusharthas of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Hence, Dharma will never fail. Satyam eva jayate nanratam. This Satyam means the cause of the universe. The cause of the universe is Brahman. That Brahman will win. We are a part of the Brahman. Everything here is effect of the Brahman. So dharma can go temporarily bad. Dharma can be upset temporarily due to different reasons, but that will be restored naturally because there is a power behind this universe. So suppose there is a very bad person like a Hitler. He created concentration camps to kill Jews. What happened in his life? Because of weather, because of bad weather, he could not win over Russia. And Russians took advantage of the winter and they took revenge on him. They lost a lot. Several million people died. There is no doubt about that. But he could not win. So there are forces against everybody who wants to do adharma. There are forces to level that person, erase that person from history. So sometimes it may take a long time for dharma to be restored in Kali Yuga, basically, because Kali Yuga, dharma is in the decline. A true dharmic country or a nature or a city or a kingdom is where every person dharma is working properly. For example, in Ramayana, there is a verse which says Prana, Apana, Samau, Astam. A rishi who comes and asks, I think Dasharatha or somebody, how is your kingdom? Is the breathing, prana and apana of everybody constant? Are they balanced? Why is he asking this question? Because if the prana and apana are balanced, the mind is calm. If the mind is calm, the spiritual life is powerful. People will become self-realized naturally. So is everyone in your kingdom given the opportunity to be self-realized? This is the question asked in Ramayana. That's what Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Prana Apano Samam Kritva Nasabhyantaracharino. The true nature of our body is prana and apana being constant. And then Urdhvagati occurs. Urdhvagati means our pranas and our this principle of life moves up in our spinal cord, which is the Achara Marga or the Kundalini Marga and things like that. And realization of spiritual reality occurs naturally. So if dharma is balanced, you will have knowledge and spiritual progress. Let me put this on slideshow. I forgot to put it on slideshow. Jiva dharma is also natural. Jiva should be by nature self, sarvajna, ashtaguna, apahatapatma, vijaro, vimrutyo, vishokaha, vijigitha. Everything is natural to jivatma. But that dharma is now corrupted. It is clouded, covered up by ignorance, ajnana, like how a diamond is covered up in mud. When you throw the diamond in somebody soil or something like that, what happens to the diamond? It becomes muddy, and all the shining and the nature of diamond is hidden. In the Ishavasya Upanishad, Satyasya Abhimukam Hitam, he says the Satya is covered up. Apavrano Satya Dharmaya Nishtaye, Pushan Apavrano, O Lord, take this ignorance out. Let this true reality shine from within. That is the Ishavasya Upanishad mantra. So similarly, the karmas which are ajnana can hide the dharma of jiva, but eventually it will go away by the nirhetuka kripa of Sriman Narayana. That means even if a person does not know spiritual knowledge in this life, in some spiritual life, by the eternal causeless mercy of the Lord, he will get blessings and his Ajnana will be removed. So Lord is always looking for a reason to give Jivatma some benefit. So if you take millions of births, someday everybody will go to God. After billions and billions of births, everybody will definitely reach God. Why? God is always showering his kindness to everybody because he doesn't want anybody lost. This is the nature of the Lord, the nature of life, nature of everybody. This is what it is. Not only Jivas, the matter also takes its birth from Satya, or the Brahman himself becomes this universe, including matter. And you cannot win over Satya, you cannot destroy Satya, which is the cause of the universe, which is Brahman himself. That has no destruction. Nobody can destroy it. One can say somebody can, some weird country, some very rogue country, like whatever, I don't even want to name. They can create an atom bomb or something and blow up the world or something like that. The Dharma will restore itself and create a new world, create everything from scratch, because it is not under control of anybody. And even somebody wants to destroy the universe, he was going to destroy himself also within the universe. So the Dharma will never be destroyed. I asked a question to my Guruji, Sri KSV. Suppose there are 5 trillion cows in the world. 5 trillion. I'm just giving a number. Right? And suppose every cow is killed, then there can be no cow, right? So the cow is completely destroyed from the universe, right? He said, the cow tattva is never destroyed. What does it mean? In Sanskrit, we use the term tattva. And he said that the cow tattva or a go tattva in Sanskrit, go tattva is never destroyed. I could not understand this. I asked him, why, if I killed all the trillions of cows and there was no cow left in this universe, how can cow be there in the universe? He said, how did the cow get created in the first place? Initially, there was only some hydrogen or helium in the beginning of the Big Bang or something. Then all these elements were created. Then the RNA, DNA molecules were created. And from there, so many other things were created. Right? 1 second, let me look at it here. 1 second. Okay, there was a class cancelled in 10 minutes, so I have more time to talk today. Thanks for cancellation of some other class. So we'll come back to the cow problem. So if all the cows are destroyed, is cow still there? Yes, the cow is still there because the raw materials to create a new cow is still somewhere hidden in this universe because it is in some kind of an element, some lower level form of life would become a different form of life, the amphibians and the mammals, and from mammals to the cow, whatever created the cow in the first place, that is not destroyed. That's there in the universe. So there are some 80,000 exoplanets in this universe. That means 80,000 planet-like stuff, just like Earth, which has almost the same kind of Goldilocks conditions of environment, temperature, water, and all those things, where new life can be created. In that new place, a cow can be created too. It's possible. So the Tattva is hidden in the Satya. The Satya is eternal Brahman that will not be destroyed. We have to understand very clearly, Swastha means, are you healthy? Swastha means health in the body, health mentally, health spiritually. All three should be combined to say if you are healthy. Just saying that, okay, your pulse is okay, your blood sugar, everything is okay, that's not good enough. Is your mind okay? Are you happy? Are you spiritually happy? This is the true state of health. And every person should be given the dharmika swatantriya every second of their life. That is the true community, that is the true country and the universe. So if this freedom is disturbed, adharma sets in. If you say pure capitalism, take away all spiritual and God and dharma and everything out of the picture and say only spiritual, only capitalism should exist. We should just create massive production and more the merrier. You reduce the cost by increasing the manufacturing. What will you create at the end? You will create a master and a slave society. The guy who owns the company is the winner. The guy who works overtime. Both of them will be unhappy after some time. Okay. If people wake up and say, I also want dharma and moksha, I'm not going to just work for only artha and kama, then they will become free. They will find out that that is the true freedom. Okay. We asked a question, a quiz in this class. I said, without dharma, the rest of the three Purusharthas, namely Artha, Kama, and Moksha, cannot exist. I was really happy about this quiz because everybody answered it correctly. There was only one person who did not answer it correctly. That was me. I disagreed and everybody agreed. That was power. I really liked it because this message is very important and people understood it. I had not understood this concept of Dharma before this class, by the way, because I was always polluted in my knowledge in saying that, oh, Dharma means a set of rules. Dharma Shastras are, Manu Dharma Shastras says, don't do this, don't do that. And that's about it, bunch of rules and nobody follows them anyway, so why are we worried? This was my concept of Dharma, and now it has changed, and I'm very happy to know people have understood it. So now the next comes, what is Achara? Achara means nadate in Kannada, or how we act, it is Sheila, we'll say, how we behave ourselves in this universe in general. And to be free and to get back to our original state of Dharma, the true state of healthy body, mind, and intellect, Achara is prescribed. Achara is cleanliness in some way. But what is Achara? Panchendriyasya dehasya buddhescha manasas tatha dravya desha kriyanancha shuddhihi achara ishyate. Panchendriya means all our senses should be clean. It should work properly. The body should work properly. Mind, intellect should work properly. Dravya, materials around us should be pure. Unhealthy environment will not give you a good mind or intelligence or peace of mind. Desha, action should be pure. The location should be pure. All these things, if you keep it pure, that is known as Achara. But in Tamil, they say, oh, in the family, romba acharam, that means they make fun of this Achara people. Oh, they always take everything, whatever they touch, they take the tamarind and keep on wiping it and cleaning with tamarind and pouring water on it. So see, people think that Achara means not to touch anybody and always be far away from people. Yeah, it's okay in the times of Corona and other things. But people think Achara is only that. Don't touch anybody. Oh, Achara people they follow untouchability, right? It's not true. That is only the external version of Achara. What is the internal version of Achara is to keep your mind, body, intellect in very calm state. Not being angry, not being greedy, not being deluded, mind being pure like a crystal clear water of the lake where everything is visible. So just if we have our mind which is clean, our Jivatma is visible to us, our Paramatma is visible to us. You see reality both with as we see the external world and also the internal world. That will be the true state. So force feeding Achara to younger generation, saying that you don't do this, don't watch this, if you do all those things, the kids will not like it and they will revolt. So you have to really transfer this nature of Achara, saying that if you don't have Achara, you will lose something in life, you will destroy something in life. That should be important. Oops, sorry. Okay. Shuddhi means purity, right? There's a wonderful verse in Chandogya Upanishad which says that. Before that, what is Shuddhi? Shuddhi means cleanliness in every aspect. You should not corrupt your inputs. Inputs to your life is ahara. Ahara means ahriyate. That means what you take as input through mouth, that is food, is ahara. Everybody says ahara is only food. Ahara means also what which goes through your indriyas. Indriya means your eyes, senses. That's all ahara. You have to monitor, filter what you want to take in. Ahara shuddha sattva shuddhi. If you take the right inputs, your sattvic nature will be increased. Your sattvic nature will be better. So the rajasthama gunas will be reduced. Sattva shuddha dhruvasmitihi. You can meditate very well with sattvic mind. Smritir lambe sarvagrantinam vipromokshaha. When you meditate, your granthis, the granthi means the ignorance, the knots of ignorance in your body, which will hide the reality from you. That ignorance is burst, destroyed by meditation, and you realize everything. That is Chandogya Upanishad. Meditation is obviously on God, remembrance of God, Brahman. So all bondage will be destroyed by meditation. Lord Krishna says, Yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasya yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. If you have the right food, right kind of enjoyment. So Lord Krishna also says, yukta vihara. Enjoyment should be there, but limited. Right time, dharmic. Yukta cheshtasya karmasya, activity should be monitored properly. Yukta swapnavabodhasya, sleep at the right time, wake up at the right time. Yogo bhavati dukkha. Then your yoga will be a killer of all sorrow. Your sorrows will be killed. You will become happy. Now it's 9 o'clock. Okay, should we go further or not? Or should we stop for some question answers? I have not stopped for question answers at all. So maybe it's time to ask. Let me know if you have any questions.
Varna is a very serious subject, Krishna. I think we should do it in the next class.
Okay, good. We can do it in the next class. So do we have any questions for this class? Chats.
You said Dharma Swatantra means following, being free to follow the Dharma. But isn't it freedom that leads to Adharma, that I can choose what I can do?
Okay. Put your question again. Let me try to understand your question better.
I mean, if you give freedom, it can actually go the other way. Mostly goes the other way. So what do you mean when you say it is Dharma Swatantra, when everybody is free to follow Dharma or pursue his Dharma?
See, the thing is, what it is first of all, at one level, you need freedom, right?
Yes, yes.
If the true Dharma is visible to that person, that means if everything in his conglomerate of body, mind, intellect is working properly, then there is no problem, because If his Jivatma is working properly, his mind is clear, everything is clear, what happens? He can see truth. Then he will not do any Adharma anyway. Why are we doing Adharma? Because just raw freedom without knowledge is like driving with eyes closed on the road. So we have the steering. I'm free to drive. I have the steering wheel. I have the petroleum in my tank full, petrol full. I have everything, and I drive, but my eyes are not working. Then it will definitely be Adharma. So here, Dharmic Swatantriya means at a particular level you need freedom. At the same time, you have to have an opportunity to clean what is not working properly in your body, mind, intellect. So if I suppose, take a capitalistic country or something, I will blast, erroneous messages through advertisements saying that, oh, the wonderful camel was there, Marlboro cigarettes. So what am I doing? I'm giving wrong information to people, saying that smoking is the best thing you can do, or something like that. If you give wrong information, it corrupts. You are actually destroying the true nature of Dharma of people around you. The true Dharma is you're trying to destroy the normal working of lungs of somebody else, because you want to sell your cigarettes, and you are, say, Philip Morris is your company, you are a salesman for Philip Morris company. Well, I'm doing my job. I get paid $100,000 if I sell cigarettes. You're doing it, but you are curtailing the freedom of somebody else. That is Dharmic Swatantriya. Swatantriya means you cannot destroy the freedom of any other person to achieve their normal state. Do you understand?
Yes. But they are not even trying.
What?
So in what are you hindering?
I didn't hear you.
Other people not even trying for the Dharma Swatantra.
Yes. Nobody is trying for Dharma Sadhana in a Artha Kama oriented world, right?
So in
because
what way
Artha and Kama are the only things which matter for them. More money, and that's about it. And then desire, just take care of desires. Drink away, doesn't matter. So what happens is, this is a misery, this is a problem of society. And who can change it? A Atma Jnani can change it. So in every country, you need a lot of Atma Jnanis who can guide the Kshatriyas who run the countries. Kings are Kshatriyas, right? Kings run the country, but the king should be guided by an Atma Jnani for the right message, right country. Otherwise, the country will go to dogs. That's true. So, what it means is, do I give opportunity for Atma Jnana to grow in the country? Do I give opportunity for everybody to be in their own state? Jivatma in the Jivatma state, mind in the calm state, and everything. So, can I create this ideal society? It's a tough thing in the universe, because today we are not in the golden age of Krita Yuga. In the Krita Yuga, a long time back, they didn't do anything. They didn't have to do anything. Their mind was very pure. What do you call, like Sanaka, Sanandana, and Rishis? Their minds were only bound towards Brahman, Brahma Sakshatkara. All they want was Brahma Sakshatkara, because Dharma was at the highest. Later on in the Treta Yuga, the Dharma lost 25%. Then in the Dwapar Yuga, Dharma became only 50%. In the Kali Yuga, Dharma became only 25%. I doubt even if it is 25%. But to be honest with you, the very fact that 7+ billion people are still living, even though some people don't have enough food and things, water and shelter, they're still living somewhere. There's some Dharma which is keeping everything working. I was there, I was alive last year. Today I'm alive. So there is some Dharma in this universe which is keeping me alive today. All of us alive today, right?
Yes.
So I didn't get your name. Who was asking the question?
I'm Shravan.
Shravan. Okay.
And
Any more
one more
questions?
thing I felt is like every time we are saying it's a natural state, it's like we are going into an idealistic condition which is not, we have not at all seen or experienced. Like dharma is essential nature, it's a proper working condition. This is something we never see. I mean, the mind is, you say mind is very calm, so that's something we, I mean, it's not non-existent. A perfect mind or perfect any sense organ or anything. So it is like non-existent, or why is our parameter is like my eyes is working, my sense organs are working, or my mind is working? Why is that a parameter for dharma?
I didn't get your question properly. See, the thing is, what you're saying is the ideal condition is never going to happen. Is what are you saying that?
Yes, that is one. Yes.
Okay. What
And
see, the way life is structured is that you have to work to get the ideal condition constantly. That is the nature of your life. The reason is, if you don't work, you will become unhappy. One thing is constant. Every creature in this world will look for happiness.
yes.
Every creature will look for some satisfaction or happiness, no matter what. Why is this true? Because that is the dharma of the creature itself. The atma, the jivatma's dharma is to look for happiness. Why? Because it came from Parabrahman, who is Anandamaya, who is spiritual, who is a ocean of bliss. So we are part of that. We are a piece of that. Mamayo amsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. We are amsha of that Brahman. So we look for happiness constantly. You can't stop it. Even if you want, you cannot stop looking for happiness.
Yes.
That means automatically your dharma is to look for happiness. Even though the conditions are not ideal, you try to look for happiness, and we don't know where to look for. In fact, in the last class, 1 or 2 classes back, I said, I want happiness, but I don't know. Also, I will start looking for money. Maybe I'll be happy if I have a bigger home, or maybe 10 more bedrooms, or something like that. After getting 10 more bedrooms, then I say, how do I clean these 10 bedrooms? Nobody is living here. Kids went away because they are bored of me. You have problems. Then you say, okay, how much ever I acquire wealth, I will not find happiness. Then if you get a correct mind, when your mind becomes purer, nasti akrita kritena karmana paramatmana siddhyati, in the Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad. Tad vijnanartam gurumeva vigachet kshotriyam brahmanishtam samit panihi. It comes, right? That means then you say that how much ever I work and how much ever money I earn, I will not get happiness. So I have to have some other spiritual kind of happiness. Then you will go after that happiness which is hiding right within you. You come back there from outside, you come inside. So it may take a long time. It is not a non-existing ideal condition. If it is ideal condition, it's non-existing. So why would you care for it?
Yes.
To us, because we are so addicted to this external universe of getting more matter, experiences like physical pleasures and things like that, we think that there is no real Atman, because we are. It is like. Yanisha sarvabhutanam yasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashito munehe. That means in the 2nd chapter, people who are awake in the world of Brahman, Atman, is asleep in this universe. Those who are awake in this external world, they don't know. They are like in darkness because they don't know the realization of self, which is so self-fulfilling and which is Anandamaya. That just because you see no good condition around you today, that doesn't mean that the ideal condition don't exist. Ideal condition does exist. Atman does exist. Without Atman, you and I are not going to speak. We'll never be able to speak. You can't hear, I can't talk, or you can't talk, I can't hear. So we do have this power behind us called Atman, which is working, right?
Yeah.
You cannot deny, because you are not powering your tongue or your eyes or your brains, and nothing you are powering. Your blood is flowing for you automatically. All this is being done by Dharma. We are not seeing who is behind it, what is being done for you. Clear?
Yes, yes.
What's your name? I didn't get your name.
Raman.
Raman, okay.
I
still don't have the capacity to understand tones, and I can't recognize voices yet. Maybe my speaker system is also not good. Any other questions? Okay, then we'll stop this time and take it to the next, take it during the next class.
Krishnaji, na Sudarshan, I had a couple of questions in the chat.
Why don't we go through it? Because when the mind is, focusing on this, because I'll forget actually. I have a 4-bit memory, even worse than 386 computers. I'm trying to look at the chat window. I'm not able to see the chat. I don't. Oh yeah, now it is. It's behind us. Okay. Okay. Now, is there any way to increase the size of the chat? My eyes don't work properly. Okay, here it is. Sudarshan, Namaskaram. Small doubt. Doesn't Purushartha exist for Karana, Sukshma, and Stula, Sharira, and not for Jivatma? Apologies if the question itself is an error. In current context, Sharira, not Sakura above. I don't know what the Sakura, Stula Sakura, Stula Sharira, you mean? Now, if the Adharma of the mind is to think and jump between different thoughts, why should we emphasize a single state of mind, which is calmness, as important? Are we then judging the process of continuing thought of mind as Adharma? Okay. Okay, good. In the second question is easy to answer. Dharma of the mind, as far as external objects are concerned, it can change. It is the nature to change focus from one object to the other, one thought to the other. That is okay. But the mind is also doing a mischief. Mind is saying, making you think that there is value in the external world. There is happiness in the external world. That is the error mind is giving to you, or that is the ignorance mind is transferring to you. Mind is hiding the immense ananda, which is in the Atma, Jivatma or Paramatma. That the mind is hiding. So mind is not in its natural state on that. Mind is okay if it changes from one object to the other. That is somewhat natural state in this universe or physical universe. But it is hiding the real wealth from you, the real ananda from you. That is the error. Understood?
Krishnaji, mind or work mind like it's doing its job. Isn't it our Ajnana that is making us think that way? It's not mind's fault, is it?
The mind is, see, the thing is, something is, where is the Ajnana sitting? Question comes, right? Mind is only a tool. So Ajnana, where is the, then what is the cause of?
Is it Jnana or Ajnana, isn't it part of Buddhi, which is supposed to be the master of mind?
Okay, you take that Buddhi is corrupted with something, right? With some samskara or some karma is, karma avidya, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wherever avidya is, avidya can, avidya, if you go to avidya, Advaita talks differently about avidya. Vishtadvaita may have a different view of avidya. Dvaita may have a different view of avidya. It doesn't matter. See, the thing is, we are all clubbed together. Mind doesn't work independently of buddhi, right? Buddhi, mind, and ahankara, all these things work together. Samskaras, they're all working together. It doesn't matter where the corruption is, where the dharma is not working properly.
Okay. We'll have I'll have a thought about it, and probably I'll have discussion further later.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So the thing is, again, when you say true dharma, dharma today in the external world is different from the true dharma of the mind. The true dharma of the mind is to be calm too, not running around. The running around state is a disturbed state of mind. For a yogi, he is always calm and in single samadhi state, where that is the true dharma actually. The true dharma is to be in samadhi state like in Krita Yuga. That state is disturbed now. So the nature, the dharma of mind from going from one place to the other, that itself we are calling it dharma, which is an error actually. Understood?
So then that is an adharma on its own. So the process of a mind jumping between one point to another constantly, keeping us away from everything that is true, then the mind itself is operating continuously in a state of adharma then.
Yes. In this world, everything is working in the state of adharma only. Even your jivatma is doing karmas in a state of adharma only. Pure state is not there. If it is pure, you wouldn't be even bound to this body. Why would you be tied to this body? You cannot even escape for 75 years on an average. So you would not be tied to the body. So that is why ahankara vimudha atma karta hamiti manyate. Because you are bound to the body, you think that you are the doer. So the thing is, kartritva is not there for jiva if there is no body connection. If you are completely released from the prakriti and you are free, what kartritva is there? All these kind of bodily connected actions, that kartritva doesn't exist for the jivatma. It will go away. It will be in some other world, experiencing some other brahmananda, some kind of ananda or something else, right?
Yeah. It's a good thought. Thank you.
Okay.
And then about the first question that I had.
I don't even understand the question.
Oh, the first question was the whole concept of Purushartha isn't it only for our Karana, Stula and Shukshma Sarira, and not for Jivatma itself? Jivatma is bound by all these Sarira, and once the Sarira is gone, which is bound to the Purushartha, then Jivatma is with Narayana, isn't it?
See, the Purushartha is for the combination, right?
Because Jivatma on its own, it doesn't have anything. And
what is the Purushartha for Jivatma? To attain moksha at least, right?
Isn't it like liberating from all these things is an automatic moksha, isn't it?
There are two things: liberation and paripurna brahmanandanubhava in the Vishishtadvaita view, right?
Oh, okay.
It is not just liberation, just not walking away. That is the nature of moksha. Moksha has too many different kind of meanings. Moksha in Vishishtadvaita means paripurna brahmanandanubhava also. And Advaita and Dvaita also have different kind of anubhava too.
True. Thank you.
Yeah. One other question: is happiness a state of mind or a state of jivatma? See, anubhava, mind, who is the experiencer? When it says happiness, you need some experiencer. So dukkha, sadness, you mean you need to have some experiencer. The experiencer has to be jivatma according to Vishishtadvaita for sure. Okay? Because an experience is a conscious entity. It's a spiritual entity. It cannot be a material entity. Mind is material. It is a subtle matter.
So we're keeping the mind separate from the awareness, and then awareness is then attributed to the Jivatma itself, while the mind is something that is part of the body, is what we are saying.
In a way, it is definitely a subtle matter only. Mind is a very subtle kind of matter.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Very good. We'll stop now. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmat Brahma Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha. Sarvam Shri Krishna Pramastu.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.